What's up guys, it's Adam, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I am going to be making a Wii Sports Resort game mode tier list. This game is one of my favorites of all time. It has so many fun different mini games, and today I'm going to put them all in a tier list I'm going to go just in order of all the games, and yeah. Just to clarify, we're not ranking each individual game. We're ranking each mode. For example, I'm starting with swordplay, and I'm not going to rank duel, speed, slice, and showdown. I'm just going to be ranking all of them together. Actually, the more modes you have, or the more games you have in your mode, the better your chances are. All right, let's get started. Like I said, we're going to get started with swordplay, and we're starting off with a great one because swordplay is an S tier game. I love swordplay. It's one of my favorites in Wii Sports Resort. All three of the categories, duel, speed, slice, and showdown, are all incredibly fun and have incredible replay value. There's not really much else to say. I'm not a professional analyst, so I'm not really good at doing this kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, Swordplay is an S tier game, by far one of the best games in Wii Sports Resort. The next up is wakeboarding, and I am going to be putting wakeboarding in B tier. I know that may be a little bit of a higher ranking to you, but hear me out. Wakeboarding is a pretty fun game. I know it is very basic, however, one thing that I like about it is the score pile up. I always try to go for high scores, especially with doing tricks in this game by shaking the Wii remote. You can get some pretty good scores. So yeah, it is a very basic game. Not a whole lot to it, but it is B tier. Yeah. Next up is Frisbee, and I'm going to be putting Frisbee in the C tier. Frisbee overall, it's fine. It's nothing too crazy. However, there are different modes. There's Frisbee Dog and Frisbee Golf. Frisbee Dog, you throw it to a target and your dog has to catch it. Overall, it's not good. It's okay, I guess. Frisbee Golf is also just okay. I don't really like this because it is kind of finicky to throw it like a frisbee. I don't really do really good at this game, or both games in this mode, which is probably why I'm not a big fan of it. But overall, it has decent replay value and is a little bit fun to play every once in a while. Next up is archery, and I'm going to be putting archery in A tier. Archery is a really good game. I have a lot of fun with archery. Aiming it with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck overall is pretty accurate in my opinion. It's another game that it's really fun to get high scores. And I also love the secret fruits that are everywhere. I love to go for those. I bet some of you didn't even know that. They're secret fruits that you can try and hit. I love going for those. I'm not really good at hitting them, but they do provide a fun challenge. So yeah, overall archery A tier. Next up is basketball. I'm sure basketball is pretty nostalgic for some of you who played basketball growing up like me, or I am still a kid, but basketball is going in A tier. I know some of you may think this is an S tier game, but the reason that I consider it A tier is just because the motion plus for this game isn't really utilized, I feel like, which is the point of this game. Every other game utilizes the motion plus of the Wii Remote in some way. But throwing that aside, this mode is really fun. Particularly the 3-on-3 game. That is my favorite mode. I love going up against my family in that because I always beat them. And the 3-point contest is fun as well. It provides great replay value. Sorry, I'm stuttering so much. Yeah, it provides great replay value, but also 3-on-3 provides great replay value. So that's why basketball is an A tier. Next up, we have table tennis, and table tennis for me is also going in A tier. Another really fun game. This one utilizes the motion plus very, very well. It is incredibly it's very replayable. It's a lot of fun. I also love the second mode, which is the points challenge or whatever it's called, where you have to try and get as much points as possible, or the return challenge is what it's called actually. The return challenge, you have to try to return as much balls as possible. Provides great reason to keep going and try and get high scores, which is what this game is all about. So yeah, table tennis in A tier. Next up is golf, and you know where golf is going, at least I hope you do. Golf is an S tier game. This game has improved on Wii Sports' golf game by a ton. It reads the ball a lot more, and the swing. It actually has some good movement on the ball, basically, if that makes any sense. I love this game just because it's always been one of my favorites. Just hitting the ball is really satisfying, and just seeing it go places, I guess, is overall a lot of fun. And yeah, that's the main reason with all my placements is basically just how fun the game is. So that's why some of the other games are not as high as this. But golf is an S tier game for sure for me. Next up is bowling, and bowling is yet another A tier game. Bowling is a lot of fun. I especially love the 100-pin bowling. That is my favorite, but there's also regular bowling that is good as well. This game has also improved on Wii Sports' bowling, a lot more accurate reads, and there's also spin control, which is basically just a kind of practice mode to help you in the 100-pin and regular bowling mode. So again, another incredibly replayable game. I know I'm saying that about almost all of these, but that's just how good Wii Sports Resort is as a whole. So yeah, bowling in A tier. So next up is Power Cruising, and this is a game that it's the first game that I'm not putting heavily high. I'm putting it in D tier. Power Cruising, I just don't really find myself replaying, unlike all of the other games so far. It's incredibly finicky to control, and overall, I just don't find it to be that fun in general. The way you hold the Wii remote and nunchuck is also decently uncomfortable because you're holding your wrists kind of like this, which can cramp after a while, which is why I usually don't play this game. So Power Cruising, never been one of my favorites, but overall it's not F tier, simply because it is a bit interesting. Next up is Canoeing. Speaking of F tier, yep, you know where this is going. Canoeing is an F tier game. This is the worst game in Wii Sports Resort, or worst mode in my opinion. I keep saying game. Very, very boring, not replayable. The way you hold the Wii remote kind of like and go like this is not really fun, not really accurate, and like I said, it's just boring, which is not necessarily what you want for a mini game collection. Good thing all these others are up to pick it back. Yeah, Canoeing, F tier. If you've played this game a lot, I'm sure this is no surprise to you at all. Next up is Cycling, and Cycling for me is a C tier game. Cycling, it's alright, just like kind of like the Frisbee mode. Cycling, you can have a decent amount of fun with it. It's fun to just try and go up against other people. This is one of my favorite games to play with my family members, by the way, just because it can get real competitive. But besides that, there's nothing really too crazy about Cycling. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Last game on this Wii Sports Resort tier list is Air Sports, and we are saving the best for last because Air Sports is my favorite mode in Wii Sports Resort. Island Flyover, and that's just as Island Flyover could easily beat both sword play and golf. I mean, it's just so cool to go around and just fly around the island, because it's really cool how they made like this game but have a whole story around where it is. It's a really cool twist on a minigame collection, which I've never seen. But besides the story, it's also, like I said, really fun to fly around. There's also skydiving, which is alright, but I do find it pretty fun just to kind of see your me just fly down. And there's also Dogfight, which is one of my favorite multiplayer games in Wii Sports Resort. Just flying around and trying to shoot each other's balloons down is a lot of fun. So that is Air Sports. So that is my Wii Sports Resort tier list. Here's one last look at it. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to see if we agree or not. And if we don't, it's totally fine. Just leave me what you think about these games in the comments section below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time.